Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Gosh, okay. I just thought of something. You can definitely cut this out. What happened to that internet boy? The streaming boy.
Oh, he's still going.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Here's the thing. He has like about, probably I would say a day or two left at this point.
Is he alive?
He's alive. He's alive. I think he just hit the 11-day mark today. And I feel like now everyone has just either run out of money or just wants him to stop. So they're just letting him ride it out. So hopefully by the time this comes out, he will be finished. But I also made that promise last week and I'm not sure I can keep it.
Yes. I feel like every time that we talk about him, it's almost like an omen of like, it keeps him going.
Yeah, we're the one that's keeping him tethered to the screen.
Right?
Yeah.
I would give him money to stop.
To stop, yeah.
Like, if I could remove, like, numbers from the clock.
Yeah, for real.
If that was possible. Rip the boy, you know?
Rip Ludwig.
That makes me sad. Just let him go.
You know, bless his heart.
Fuck, bless his heart. I'm always scared of saying that now that I have learned, as someone who's lived in the Pacific Northwest all of my life, that I have learned that is like a bad thing to say in the South. I don't know that it's like a bad thing, but I think that people in the South say it as a like, as like a conversation ender, or like, well, that person's a dumbass.
Sure, got it.
It's like, oh, bless his heart. Like,
right. It's more like petty or a little like passive aggressive kind of.
Yes, exactly.
It's
like petty. And so that has taken on a different meaning, which is interesting. Anyways, hi.
Hello. Welcome to the weekly podcast where we update you on the latest streaming news.
Anyways, I'd rather stick in our fantasy world here at Into the Twilight. Welcome.
Yes. Ooh.
You are safe here.
Yes.
Cody, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm vibing. I'm maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Oh.
I am thinking about, as I often am, Dolly Parton.
Same. Yep. Great.
I'm sure you can relate. Most recently, because I watched 9 to 5 for the first time in a long time last night. And just what a great fucking movie that movie is.
God bless. Yeah.
Dream blunt rotation. Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, period.
Yes.
Full stop. There's literally a scene where they're all just smoking weed together and think about
those are my mom's
fantasies about killing their abusive boss. And I'm like, yes, I would like to be there.
I love all of them.
I love seeing it. She's great. That whole movie's great. Everyone in it's great. Every outfit is fabulous. And I'm loving it.
100%. It's all vibes.
Yeah.
I love strong women.
Yes.
I love their hairstyles.
Yes.
More than anything.
They're so big but so short, which is what I love about it.
It's just a lot of compact.
Yes. Yeah.
Just a lot of compact energy. And honestly, when I think about Dolly Parton, that's also what I think of.
Yes.
Yes. Just a lot of energy in a
little
small
bottle rocket.
person.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are not a lot of people that I think when I would be near them and get like starstruck. Just because I'm not that kind of person.
I'm not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. But I just don't find a lot of people intimidating. Right. I don't know. I think if I was in the room with any of those three women, I would be slack-jawed. Like, I think I would...
I think you'd collapse. I think you'd just fall down.
100%. Yeah. I would need medical attention.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, who among us wouldn't feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just because I think, like, the influence...
Right.
That they have had.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love them.
Yes.
I love my moms.
My moms.
My moms.
How are you?
Oh, I'm just living... You know, yeah. I'm just getting by.
Yeah. We're making our way downtown.
I'm fucking walking fast. I can't see anyone's faces, but I am homebound. I'm here. I am doing okay. I've been really craving juice lately.
Right.
As I ought to. As it be like that sometimes. The one thing, though, that has brought me a lot of peace amongst this chaos has been Big Ship.
Big Ship Watch 2021.
For those of us who are joining us in the end of March 2021, I hope at this point you are familiar with Big Ship Watch 2021.
Yeah.
If you are joining us from the future and you are like, Allie, I have no fucking clue what you are talking about, let me bring you back to this wild week of news, as it tends to be at this time. But specifically...
Not often a wild week for ship news, though.
No, not usually when a big oops stops capitalism. Like, a billions of dollars of oops.
Of oopsies. Yep.
A big oopsies. So, a long-going bit on this show has been that one of my personal comforts has been to watch plane radars.
Yeah.
That is something that soothes my anxiety.
Yeah, just to make sure they're safe.
I like to just watch and track flights in the air because you never fucking know what happens. And also because I was a 7-year-old when 9/11 happened. You know what? Trauma. Yeah. We deal with it different ways.
Absolutely. What
I came to learn this week with Big Ship is that there is also a version of that for ships, and it's called Vessel Finder. This is by no means sponsored, because what the actual fuck would that be?
But also, I will be bought.
But also, hit me up, because I've only had this tab open all week. The specific ship that I'm referring to is Ever Given. If you are unfamiliar, if you are not a social studies teacher like myself, the Suez Canal is very small, but is immensely important to how our world operates under capitalism. Kind of huge for world trade.
Right.
There is a huge ass ship that is stuck in the Suez Canal. Like Empire State Building stuck.
It's so big.
Like Austin Powers in a fucking truck stuck.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Like sideways in a canal stuck.
Cartoonishly stuck.
Like humorously should not be this turned around in a very small canal stuck.
Yeah.
And it is the fucking funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Because this is so embarrassing, right? Like, this is why I don't parallel park. This is so embarrassing. Because everyone is staring at you. But this oops of a parallel park situation of what should be like 5 cars is now thousands of ships who have had to now divert their ships to a route that we haven't had to use since the 1700s.
Oh my god.
Like going to the south, the most southern tip of Africa.
Jesus.
Because it is costing them billions of dollars.
Yeah.
It is the funniest thing I've ever heard of. It's not, because, like, it's ridiculous.
Right.
But the idea that this most innocuous mistake has fundamentally stopped world trade and, like, has not killed anyone, like, has not caused damage.
Right.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just an oops.
Yeah.
Like, the ship hasn't tipped over. No one's dead. Like, it's just an embarrassing problem.
It's just so foolish.
Is the funniest thing I've ever heard of.
I think it's great, the fact that if this is how capitalism falls, like, just because of a big oopsie, I think that's fitting, you know?
I think it's great.
I think that's very funny.
100%. And I think that is why, like, not just is it a necessary laugh over this past year of the Newtons, but also, as far as we know from this news, like, it's a laugh where no one is being hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it's just money lost.
Yeah.
Like,
there's
just
no harm in
capitalism
this.
is the loser.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. And also all of those photos of, like, the tiny machines trying to come up next to it and then fix it.
Just the excavators.
Just this big ship. It's so good.
Because this ship is like, the only photos that we've seen have been pretty far away.
Right.
And so
there's no sense of scale previously, like before them, yeah.
No, because it just looks like a cargo ship in a canal, but there's no sense of scale of, like, one, how small the Suez Canal is.
Right.
And it's so small. And this ship is so big. And it is effectively sideways, and that shouldn't work. And it has brought me so much joy in a week where most of the news has been, as usual, awful. Like, has been bad.
Right.
So thank you, ship.
Thank you, big ship.
Thank you, big ship. There's a very evil part of me, like a lot of my like Scorpio rising energy, who's like, I don't want the ship to be fixed.
Yeah.
I do, because I want people to get off of it. But there's a part of me who's like,
what if it's just there forever?
What if it's not, though? Like, so anyways, thank you, big ship. I appreciate you immensely.
Absolutely.
For your gifts on this world. You're so important. The odes I could write to Big Ship.
Yeah.
We have just a little bit of current events this week.
Just a little amuse-bouche.
Just a
little taste.
Just a little charcuterie.
Charcuterie?
No, you stop. I will not. I refuse to. Because I can't call them Lunchables anymore. Because I can't touch that, like, wet, slimy meat. You know?
Because
it's not meat.
I could have gone my whole life without hearing wet, slimy meat and charcuterie in the same 15 seconds of each other. But thank you for just...
You know what... I mean, did you have a Lunchable growing up?
I know the feeling of it. I just didn't know you were going to be so visceral in your description.
I'm just saying that, like, I didn't grow up rich. I grew up very, like, low middle class.
Right.
And Lunchables was a very, like, special occasion.
Sure.
That was, like, when the child support money, like, just came in kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I romanticized the fuck out of those things.
Oh, absolutely.
They were never as good as I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
That meat wiggled and, like, had a sound to it.
Yeah.
Just tastes like a bad babysitter and, like, fucking... I don't know. Disappointment.
Jeez.
Maybe that was me. Anyways, I'll talk to my therapist about that. Anyways, let's.
So Twilight news.
So Twilight.
Sometimes I get mad when people are like, these, sometimes, like, this is a good podcast, but sometimes they go off the rails a little bit. And I get personally offended by that because I'm like, listen, this is the show, baby. And then there's moments like this where I'm like, yeah, maybe we should kind of reel in the focus a little bit sometimes.
I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Like, that's just who we are.
Sorry.
If you haven't figured out at this point that at 30 minutes in, we start talking about the chapters.
Right.
We've had this same setup for 4 years.
It's true.
About how our notes go. And so if you are the kind of person, bless your heart, who is like, I don't want to hear fuck all about current events, then you know at this point that we start talking about the chapters at 30 minutes. So just skip a Rooney. We don't care.
Skip a Rooney.
We don't get those kind of analytics. All we care about is that you get to the end of the episode because that is the part that we get to tell advertisers. Yeah. So just live. You're like, go. That's fine.
Be free. We're not keeping you here.
No. Anyways, I don't know why that pisses me off, but it's like, we're not forcing you to listen to this podcast. You subscribe to it yourself. We're not the U2 album. Like, it's fine.
We just forcibly download our podcast into everyone's feed.
So we're back with Screen Rant at this time. Specifically, their writer, Amanda Steele, who's really been, like, on the ball at this time. And Amanda Steele has been tasked with the very strong, important task of ranking the best soundtrack songs from Twilight, which is a very difficult job.
Yeah,
I must
contentious.
Say. Yeah, this is, I would say, has been one of the most controversial topics in this fandom.
Yeah.
For quite a long time. But we have the 10 best soundtrack songs here. I have some thoughts about this, but I would love to hear your opinions on these songs.
The only thing that feels very shocking to me is like how low 1,000 Years is.
Okay, I agree 100%.
It feels like, given the like love around that song and that moment specifically, it feels like it had a lot of clout, you know, in terms of like where people have it in their hearts.
I don't disagree with Amanda Steele's ranking of it being 9 on this list, just because personally I don't really vibe with that song.
Sure. Yeah.
But I agree. I think that within the fandom itself, that is a...
I just feel like every fan edit and like all those montages and shit are like, it's usually this one, you know?
I completely agree. Yes. What I will say is I do not see any Turning Page representation on here.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. Injustice.
Amanda...
Baby.
You're more than welcome to have your own opinions.
Right.
Right? We sure as fuck do here.
Yes.
But what I will say is that Sleeping at Last's impact with Turning Page has grown outside of Twilight. And the impact that it's had on TikTok alone,
right,
let alone in the wedding community,
yeah,
has been unreal. And so that is wild to me personally.
Yeah.
To not have that on there. I don't disagree with having Debussy at number 2.
Yes.
Having
friend of the show
there. Friend of the family. Now, what I will say is I'm not seeing... This isn't funny at all. I want there to be some Linkin Park on here. It's not...
No, you're right. You're right, and you should say it. If we're going with Stephanie and her brain,
yes,
at least one gotta be.
Yeah, and Stephanie. If I was just speaking for Stephanie, which I'll never do, if I was speaking for Stephanie, she would have Muse a little bit lower. So.
Ooh, yeah.
The last thing that I'll say about this is that I just wish this was a little bit of a longer list because the Twilight songs are great.
Yeah, and listen, why pit all these queens against one another,
exactly.
You know?
It's just hard to narrow it down to 10 because all of the soundtracks fuck, and that's all I have to say.
And that's my truth.
and that's just how I feel, so. Yeah. Could you take us to a Rob corner, please?
Ooh, welcome back to Robert Pattinson Corner. Pew, 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 pew.
The cyberspace.
Yes. This is from We Got This Covered.
Ooh.
Which I think is a new site for us.
Yeah, I don't know if we've used this in the space
so
before.
Welcome to the space. Christian Bone, author. The article is Robert Pattinson reportedly demanding a lot of money to return to Twilight.
Good for him.
First of all, yes, know your worth, King. Absolutely. We love to hear it.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like,
yeah,
there's no way that he could go back to even like the first Twilight budget after all that he has done now.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah.
The other thing that I saw circulating a little bit this past week, which are just like old stories from like 2018, from an Allure piece, which is just Rob mentioning in a past Allure interview about like him being willing to get Botox if he was in the Twilight reboot.
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't know why that is shocking information.
Right.
If he was needing to be an immortal vampire and not needing to look like he has aged.
Yeah.
At this point. The idea, though, that he or Kristen could even be bought to do the reboots or even just a continuation of that story seems improbable to me.
I don't think there's any need.
I don't think there's any need. And also, from all of the information that we have heard from them about not just how, like, emotionally exhausting that time was for them, but also just how, like, not fun it was from, like, the press and the fandom. I can't imagine that it would be worth the money.
Yeah.
At this point, especially if they are getting, I would imagine that they are getting some sort of like residuals off of that stuff.
Yeah, almost certainly.
So yeah, I cannot imagine that it would be worth the like emotional impacts for them if they could just pursue other creative projects at this time. So I know that it is something that at least part of this fandom is interested in, but I would rather, personally, them be happy.
Yeah.
Than watch something where they are, like, visibly not enjoying themselves.
Yeah, that checks out.
I'm good. I'm good
also,
with that.
Apparently this news comes from this guy from his Patreon page where he just posts, like, industry rumors and scoops and stories. And it's like a paid post, like it's paywalled, this rumor post.
Ooh. Interesting.
What?
Seems legit.
Yeah.
Seems real.
Right.
We have a Twilight backstory
Ooh.
this week that I'm happy to share with you.
Incredible.
It is from T. I'm imagining it is T and not Tia. If y'all, hey, I love getting your emails. I am so fucking terrified of saying your names wrong.
Yeah.
If y'all could just phonetically spell your names, that would save me so much time of just looking at this and being like, oh no, how am I going to say this? So I think it's T, but who's to say? You know, not me. So here's our backstory. This email talks about death. I'm just going to tell y'all right away.
Yeah.
Okay. So my aunt is the one who introduced me to Twilight. She lent me her books and I watched the movies for the first time with her. She was/is ingrained in every aspect of Twilight for me. We fought over Team Edward and Jacob and accepted me when I told her I was actually Team Jane/Bella. Ooh. She died suddenly and unexpectedly in November of 2019, and like that, my second mom was gone. Oh, T. And Twilight helped me heal from that because it had the comfort of her in it. Y'all, T, this is gonna make me fucking cry. It holds only my happiest memories of her within it. This Christmas, my uncle gave me her Twilight books and I cried. They were my first to read and they were hers. Twilight is my comfort movie now. It helps calm my tics when they get out of hand and helps me remember the good times with my aunt. I wake up to the Volturi watching me thanks to a gag gift from a friend. Looks like a huge ass poster.
Yeah, massive.
of the New Moon movie and the Volturi.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
And there's like a tiny Breaking Dawn poster on top of it.
Yes.
Ew. That's amazing.
If that's a gag gift, keep that friend around because that's a real gift.
Yeah. You got real friends.
Yep. Love you both and stay safe and well. T.
Hey.
Aww.
T.
T, that's very nice.
Oh.
I love this gift and I want to know more about it because it looks like the whole Volturi is there, but I can only just see like Jane and Aro. And really that's all that matters. So like that's fine.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. And I love the idea that you both shared the books together. See, it's not about fucking Steph. It's about the memories that you shared with them.
And like the community that was able to foster, even though it's also not great, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. See, it's like what you make of it that like matters. That's adorable, and you almost made me cry. You almost got me.
So close.
But you fucking didn't. So how about that? Anyways, when we looked at chapters 33 and 34 last week, Stephanie reminded us of her morals.
Yes.
And that in any of her universes that she creates, if you reproduce, you die.
Yeah.
And stop. That's it.
That's what happens. Sorry.
That's what happens. That's just all you gotta know. That is an interesting way for Stephanie to end things. But when we start out this week in chapter 35, we get a fun little detour to the tribunal.
Just a full survivor council.
We get to finally have Stephanie write a survivor episode, which is great.
Listen, the amount of pages we spent in a literal cave.
Oh
and
my
we
God.
just got to like real tribunal shit. Like, come on,
Right.
baby, let's go. Like, pick up the pace.
Oh my God. And like, she briefly hinted at some sort of tribunal in the Twilight series, right?
Yeah.
Because we get a little bit of it in New Moon when Edward's like, I want to die. And then he's like, wait, no, lol, I don't Just kidding. It was a joke. Couldn't you tell? It was a joke. And then we get it a little bit again in Breaking Dawn. But this is like a real tribunal.
Yeah.
Which is dope as hell. Because if any of you have watched Survivor, I mean, they don't like put their names on paper because they don't have paper there in the apocalypse.
Right.
But it gets good, which is I appreciate. So anyways, the other thing is when we were reading our chapters last time, they did also use the morphine on Wanda, which is not cool. Mm-hmm. So when Wanda wakes up, Wanda's like, so I'm going to go to this tribunal. And Ian's like, the hell you are. You still have drugs in your body. But Wanda wants to make sure that everyone knows that, like, Kyle didn't mean to do this. And it
guys,
was just
I swear, it wasn't a big whoopsie. He didn't mean it. I swear.
Sometimes you just, like, accidentally kill someone. And, like, it happens.
It happens.
What I will say is before we get into the, like, real tribunal situation, we finally get to the Cheetos.
Welcome back to the space.
Stephanie has been teasing these Cheetos. The smell, the crunch, the taste.
Right.
It sounds like that fucking
the
cotton
feel of
commercial.
cotton. Yeah.
Yes. It has been teasing this for chapters now, and finally Wanda gets to taste this delicacy.
Yes.
And fuck if it didn't make me want to have Cheetos, I will say.
Yeah.
It did its job. So, congrats on that. This tribunal. It sounds like a basement that you would have a party in.
Yeah.
Like an
It's like a crummy show. Yeah. Like
yes.
a house show.
Exactly. Especially because the fact that there's this mention of, like, the ceilings are really low.
Yeah.
It smells kind of nasty. Like,
right.
And also there's this, like, weird lighting situation. I don't know. It felt very tight and tense. Almost everyone was already there by the time that Ian had helped kind of drag Wanda in at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And understandably, and almost, I would say predictably, this tribunal does not go well.
Yeah.
You would think, you might hope, I guess, that this community would be like, oh, one of our own did a hit
yes.
on this outsider.
Yeah.
Not a good look. Not the
No.
best thing. Rather than asking for more evidence, other than Kyle just, like, implicating himself from what he did before, of being like, oh, shit, I didn't kill it. Fuck.
Right. I mean,
oh, no.
oh, man.
They would believe Wanda, who has grown to be a major component of this community.
Right.
Unfortunately, humans are not like that.
No.
Shocking. So Ian is very obviously being like, hey, you're my brother. I don't want you to die.
Right.
But I do want you to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. You are not bringing in great vibes here, Kyle.
Yeah, your vibes are fucked up.
Way off.
So I'm gonna, in a very, like, Lauren Conrad situation, Ian's like, I'm gonna forgive you and I'm gonna forget you.
Yes. Get out of my face, Kyle.
Because the fact that Ian doesn't want Kyle to be dead, but essentially says so because the fact that he's asking Kyle to go live, like, above ground outside of the community now.
Yeah.
Which is essentially a death sentence.
Right. And also it's like a weird thing too where it's like it's not whether or not Kyle did a hit because they know Kyle did a hit and Kyle said he did a hit. It's like, is Wanda human enough to warrant where that even matters? Like, does it count if Wanda's not a person? Does, like, the hit mean anything? Like, if it was a person, yeah, sure, get out of here. But it's like, but Wanda.
And can I just say, I'm trying my best right now to keep this, like, a space that is free of, like, current events.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we started talking about Kyle doing the hit,
Yeah.
we'd had something in the news about a hit.
Right.
And now, weeks later, there's another thing in the news about a hit.
Right.
And it's really hard
yeah.
as a reader to not make connections to the outside world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But I also know that for a lot of folks that listen to this, this is a space where you can, for an hour, not live in the world. Mm-hmm. I'm just mentioning this so that folks are like, oh, that's interesting. That they're not, like, making 2 and 2 to... I'm trying my fucking hardest. Yes. It's interesting is all I'm saying. I'm going to keep the vibes as chill as I possibly can. So anyways, but yes, I do think that is something that Stephanie is incredibly overt about in this chapter. Is it's like, it's not a matter of whether or not Kyle did this, but they're like, a lot of the people who kind of like step up as contrarians in this, who have been doing this like throughout.
Right.
It's Maggie and Sharon, who are like, they keep doing the like, murder is a subjective term. Like, right. And it's like, I'm sorry. What do you
using
mean?
Pretty harmful language right now.
Especially because they're like, which one, Maggie? It's not.
Right. Factually
wrong.
Incorrect. Yeah.
What the fuck is that sentence?
Words do mean things, believe it or not.
Words hurt, Maggie, first of all. And second of all, like, Maggie's like, well, actually, like, I only consider it murder when something human is killed. And it's like, sorry, what? Like, there's a lot of fighting that's happening here where it's becoming very clear that any thoughts that Kyle was going to, and I don't even know that Wanda came into this with the intention of, like, quote, justice, but, like, any intention here of recognition that this was a bad,
right?
I was like, gone.
Yeah, out the window.
And so finally, like, they end up voting, and they're like, all right. And so there's a vote of whether or not Kyle should be allowed to stay in the community or not, and it is like a very clear majority.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did forget to mention before this, though, which is important to the plot, is that Jared, like, freaks out.
Yeah.
Which, like, Jared is ought to do.
Right.
That is not surprising.
Yeah.
But he actually, like, freaks out in defense of Wander, which is a surprise. And is important in the fact of, like, stands up for Wander and is like, I don't understand, like, would any of you have tried to, like, rescue your enemy in that moment of, like, Kyle tried to kill Wanda and Wanda is, like, here and not even speaking up against Kyle. Would any of you motherfuckers try to do that? And no one talks, and he's like, that's exactly what I'm fucking saying.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's a clear majority. Kyle is staying, which we got that. So Jeb, unfortunately, is like, well, I have a majority here, and I'm supposed to go with the majority. So now that this is over, y'all want to play a game? But not in a, like, Saw way.
No.
Like,
in a sports way.
In a very, like, divorced dad way. Like, hey, I just fought with your parent in front of you.
Hey, you want to play catch in the yard?
You want to go out for a pizza or something? Like,
hey, champ. That was pretty rough in there, but let's go get an ice cream, huh?
Yeah. You want to solve your trauma with food? Or what's up? So, like, hard shift.
Yeah, a bit of a pivot. Miss Meyer.
Hard left turn to chapter 36. You know, like, as we've learned with Stephanie before, all conflict can be solved with sport.
Yes.
You got, like, nomadic vampires coming in. Baseball. Perfect.
Done.
You got a scorned partner coming in and sees a perfect family. You just got to catch snowflakes with them. Yeah. Great. Perfect. It's done.
Would you consider that a sport?
Sometimes, if you're fucking clumsy, I guess.
If you're going real fast.
If you're going real fucking fast, I guess.
If you're trying to win, yeah. Get as many snowflakes as you can, yes.
I would argue that Chuck Esme in that moment was trying to win. So I would argue that was in fact a sport.
Yeah, Chuck Esman was going for blood in that one for sure.
100%. So I would argue that everything with Vampire Bella was a sport.
Yeah.
Especially still in her newborn phase. So
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So chapter 36. We got a good old game of soccer. As we have learned from society. Hey, folks. Everything can be solved with soccer. You know?
Yes.
A good old football.
Yeah.
Right?
For the non-American listeners.
Stephanie loves a good protagonist that does not understand sport.
Yeah.
Who cannot do a sport.
Right.
Whether it's volleyball or I think it was also badminton before.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think so. I would argue one of the easiest sports. Like,
yeah.
One of the easiest sports that you should not be able to get hurt in, but God bless.
But yeah, and yet.
And in this case, soccer. So Wander, which, like, you know what? It was like 2 days ago that Wander like almost died.
Got
so
fucked up, yeah.
Like, I will give a little bit of credit here.
Yeah.
But still, Stephanie has never played sports, so just doesn't know how to write them.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. I think she uses that as a crutch, right? Or at least like some sort of, it's like a smart maybe writing technique where it's like, I don't know. I want to have a sports scene in here, but I do not know how to write one, and nor will I learn how to do that. So instead, I will just make all of my protagonists have no concept of sports, so they can just kind of make broad observations about things that are happening in front of them, but don't have to actually interact in any way that can be called out on, you know?
Sure. I honestly don't know if that's relevant for a lot of people.
Right.
Like, I don't know if that's like a mood for most people of like, yeah, I'm just like a wallflower who like doesn't know how to sport.
Yeah.
I see this and I'm like, yeah, go play soccer. Like, what? Yeah. Why are you on the sideline? It just makes me mad, but that's all right. So they're playing soccer in this very small cave. Sure. Sounds great. Melanie is very pissed at it. At Wander, because the fact that Melanie apparently was like good at soccer and was like, God damn it, like I want to go play.
Yeah.
But Wander has a husk of a body right now and is like really struggling. Right. That's okay. We have a lot of observing. Wander is like trying to figure out what's going on here. The most interesting part of this, though, is a follow-up to what Jared had said during the tribunal. Because after, I want to say like after the game or like during halftime, Jared comes over and starts a good old conversation with Wander, which Melanie is like, excuse me, I'm right here.
Yeah,
so what are you doing? And Jared is incredibly curious because the fact that he is wanting to have a conversation with Wanda, but is also like, can you hear Melanie now? Like, is Melanie here too?
Can you tell her to go away?
And so he is also starting to share a little bit about why he believes Wander in this moment, which is like a huge shift for him.
Making progress.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially after the last time that they were together. It's been like a massive shift. And one of the reasons why he shares that he actually believes Wander now is from the first night that he saw Wander, and the fact that Wander like put themselves in front of Jared to save him from Kyle.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that was like really bold.
That was hot.
It's very interesting. And he also apologizes and touches Wander and Melanie's face, like, at the same time. And Melanie's, like, freaking out because of the fact that Wander has feelings for Jared, but it's because of Melanie. Like, it's a very confusing situation.
Right. Yeah.
Melanie's very jealous about it, whereas Wander's like, you made me feel this way. Like, this is
you
your
can't be
fault.
mad at this.
Exactly. The difficult thing, though, is that when Jared did his soft caress of Wander's face, he was doing it in a very small cave in front of the literal whole community.
Just everyone.
Just everyone. And so everyone saw it. And it also doesn't help that when they took their break and everyone came around to get snacks, you know, like these really delicious granola bars with fruit filling.
Yeah.
Just doing the best to avoid brand names on the granola bars. Not the Cheetos, but the granola bars.
That's, you gotta draw the line there, you know?
Jamie, Jared, and Ian, all kings of subtlety.
Yes.
Came over with extra granola bars and water for Wander, because Wander's been sitting on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And so eventually the rest of the community is like, hey, fuckers, half of our food is gone.
Right. Hey, Wander's got a lot of granola bars.
Wander has half of our food pile by them. Why?
Yeah.
What is the reason?
You horny bastards. What the hell?
Why are you providing offerings to Wander like this?
Yeah.
You are all incredibly unsubtle.
Yeah.
Jamie's doing it because he's a good brother, but y'all need to stop.
Yeah.
Anyways, when the soccer game is over, Kyle decides to walk up to Wander, really bold. Here, Kyle. Just really ignoring all of the body language that Ian is doing. Yeah. Ignoring all of the body language that Jared is doing, because both of them are standing in front of Wander. And Kyle asks if he can say something to Wander. And Kyle, ever the subtlety with this one, says to Wander, I'm not sorry. I still think it was the right thing to do.
At every turn, he is given a chance to, like, bury the hatchet. And, like, Wander has given him ample opportunity to be like, I'll fucking bat for you. I'm gonna stick up for you, even though you did do a hit on me.
100%.
And every time, and Kyle's like, what if? I don't regret anything. And I actually did love that I did that. So, thanks.
One, he's just a flat character. Just, like, no attempts to improve as a person.
Yeah.
But, like, what the fuck? Like, the audacity to come up to someone who has had such a rapport with the community, like, with such foundational people in this community that they just saved your life.
Yeah.
Because, like, if Wander had asked, which they wouldn't, but if Wander had asked, Ian and Jared could have just killed Kyle. Like, there wouldn't have needed to be a tribunal.
Right, absolutely.
And so the fact that, like, he is still alive to come up and say this to Wander and is such a fucking privilege, and still be like, yeah, I'm not sorry, actually. Like, what the fuck? So Wander ends up being like, actually, I do have something to say to you. I didn't let you fall, Kyle. Because I'm not like you, you piece of shit. I'm not like you humans. Because there are actually people around you, Kyle, that would have let you fall. They would have done the same exact thing that you would have done. You've got kind people that are here who would have also, like, would have saved you here. Mm-hmm. There are kind people here. There are good people here. There are people here like your brother and Jeb here that are kind as well, and like Doc. I'm just not like you personally.
Right.
You're not kind and you're not good. And Kyle's like, whoa, that was like mean. And then he just like walks off.
Like, hey, whoa. I was trying to be nice, and I know that I'm not nice and not good at it, and I did it wrong, but also, how dare you call me out on that?
How dare you? That's like rude.
I said to your face that I did not regret trying to kill you, and you do this to me?
Right.
What the heck?
God. Kyle is like, gives off strong, like Ethan vibes from Lizzie McGuire.
Yes.
But like the bad version. Like if...
Right.
Because I like to believe that Ethan from Lizzie McGuire ended up being like a good person.
Sure.
Like, not aware of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like very smooth brain, but like neutral. Probably fine.
Right.
But Kyle gives off very, like, smooth brain but bad.
Yes.
To me. Like, actively does. I mean, he tried to kill someone, so, like, bad.
Yeah, come on.
Next week, though, we have chapters 37 and 38.
Ooh.
we're getting closer to the end.
Each time we do this, it sounds so pathetic. It's like, we're almost maybe kind of there.
So Stephanie has to be, like, inching us towards this confrontation with the Seeker.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like, it's going to be like Stephanie, and we're going to have, like, 2 chapters left, and then the Seeker's going to pop up. So,
right.
Who's to say? You know?
Who's to say?
We have an amazing group of patrons to thank.
Damn right we do.
You know what? I'm going to start.
Whoa.
We're gonna really switch things up here.
Whoa.
So I would like to thank Mallory Hardwick.
Thank you to Katie Black.
Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Ow. Yeah. Ow. Thank you, Elizabeth James.
Thank you to Jess Love.
Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Thank you to Carrie Goldberg.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh. Thank you to Mickey Meyer.
Thank you to Zoe Steele.
Shout out Rebecca Cullen. Ooh.
Thank you to Amy Taylor.
Thank you to Mulch Gray. Mulch.
Thank you to our unofficial intern, Taylor Brown Town Lautner.
Yes. Thank you to Aaron Weber.
Thank you to Gwen Stanley.
Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia. Ooh.
Thank you to Bailey Christian.
Thank you to Jay Molina.
Thank you to Cassandra Bomer.
Thank you to Toussaint Wanderer. Yes.
Thank you to Kristen Strider.
Thank you to Kelly Beck.
Our mom.
Yes.
Thank you to Aaron Salinger.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Thank you to India Peach.
Thank you to Casey Yorkie.
Thank you to Sarah Blythe.
Ow, yeah. Ooh. And thank you to Lara Forty.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that really spiced things up.
It really did. I have a fan fiction for you today.
Please.
This is a fan fiction from our unofficial intern, Taylor Brown Town Lautner.
Yes.
This is a fan fiction that I must say has a crossover from a show that I am a little bit unfamiliar with.
Okay.
But I feel like some of us here in this podcast community might be more familiar with. This is a crossover of Twilight and Zoe 101.
Oh shit.
I know of this, but this was a little bit outside of my time.
Sure.
This is titled I'm So Into You. And it is by the author CC17.
Sure.
And it was published on August 30th, 2009. Here is the summary. I'm not that good at summaries, so please give this a chance. I know you probably didn't like my last story, but this one is better.
Cece, come on. Believe in yourself.
It says, all I'm asking for is a chance.
Jeez. Oh my god, baby.
Again, this is from 2009. It fucking breaks my heart.
Oh, okay. God.
So, again, folks, give them a chance.
Please give them a chance.
Okay. You know how teenagers would be more than thrilled to go to a boarding school just to get away from their parents and siblings if they had them? Well, not me. I love my parents to death, even if they do act goofy at times. Me and my mom, Renee, are like best friends, maybe even sisters. And my dad, Charlie, couldn't last without me. His cooking is just as bad as his cleaning. Ugh. Buzz, buzz, buzz. My cell phone was vibrating in my pocket. It was hard to get it out because I was driving, but I did. I saw that it was my mom, so I answered it before she got impatient. Hey, Mom. No, I'm not at school yet. Yes, I promised to call as soon as I get there. Look, Mom, I can't talk and drive. I rolled my eyes as I snapped my black razor shut. Renee is just too much for me to handle right now. As I pulled into the parking lot at Pacific Coast Academy, I saw people playing Frisbee, boys playing football on the grass, tennis players, a yoga group from the looks of it. Everything is a good way to put it. I found a parking spot near the administration building. I got out of my black Honda Accord, and I saw a girl pointing in my direction and whispering, "New girl." Like I couldn't hear or see them. I ignored the remarks and headed toward the administration building. I walked into the building and found it to be freezing cold. I walked up to the desk, and sitting at it was a pretty lady who looked old enough to be my mom. I stood at the desk for a good 5 minutes, but she never even looked up, so I cleared my throat and she looked up, startled. "Oh, I'm so sorry. How can I help you?" she said with a wide smile, obviously fake. How can anyone like this job? "Hi, I'm Isabella Swan. I'm new here." End scene.
Yes.
Ugh, the amount I would pay to go back to having a black Razor and a black Honda Accord.
Man.
Them's the good old days. That really brings me back. I just need a juicy tracksuit.
Yes.
And I'm all good.
Then you're golden,
actually.
baby. That's all. What else do you need in life?
I just need my stick straight hair with absolutely no heat protectant in it.
Yeah.
And some lip gloss from Claire's that definitely could cause cancer, actually.
Yeah.
And a denim jean purse.
Yes.
That was
Crucial.
Really small.
Crucial. Yeah, too small to fit anything of value.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Just my black Razor, actually.
Yes. Yeah, just a phone purse.
Just a phone purse.
Yeah.
We'll end on those good vibes there. Cece, I think you did a great job. I know it's 2009, so you don't know, but I think you did a great job.
Yeah, just checking in.
Just sending you those good vibes from the future.
Absolutely.
If you end up eating Cheetos this week, think of Stephanie Meyer.
Yes. Yes. It's what she would have wanted.
It's what she would have wanted, in her apocalypse dream future.
Yes.
And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
And get whipped.
Ooh.
Everybody say way-ho.
Way-ho.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. Our theme music is by Eli Krause, and our artwork is by Maddie Padilla. Follow the show on Twitter at Into the Twilight, and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/intothetwilight. Send us an email or a fanfiction at intothetwilightshow@gmail.com. You can find Allie at Into Wild Places and me at Cody Crow. You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.